Have you ever felt like you're facing a giant? A problem so big, so intimidating, that everyone around you is telling you to just give up? Well, today we're diving into one of the most epic underdog stories of all time, a story that proves size isn't everything, and that courage can come from the most unexpected places. Let's talk about David and Goliath. Picture this: two massive armies, the Israelites and the Philistines, are squared off, ready for battle. But for 40 days, nothing happens. Why? Because the Philistines have a secret weapon, a champion named Goliath. This guy isn't just big, he's a giant, over 9 feet tall. He's covered head to toe in bronze armor, carrying a spear with a tip that weighs more than a bowling ball. Every morning and every evening, he stomps out and bellows a challenge. "Send me a man to fight. If he wins, we'll be your servants, but if I win, you'll be ours." The Israelite army, including their king Saul, is terrified. No one dares to face this mountain of a man. The entire army is paralyzed with fear. Every day, Goliath's taunts echo across the valley, chipping away at their morale, making them feel smaller and weaker. It seems like a hopeless situation. But then, someone new arrives on the scene. It's not a seasoned warrior or a mighty general. It's a young shepherd boy named David. His older brothers are in the army, and his father, Jesse, has sent him to the front lines simply to bring them some food and check on them. He's basically a delivery boy. As David arrives, he hears Goliath's daily taunt. But unlike everyone else, David doesn't react with fear. He reacts with indignation. He turns to the soldiers and asks, "Who is this guy, defying the armies of the living God?" He can't believe that everyone is just standing there, letting this giant insult them in their faith. The soldiers just tell him about the king's reward for anyone who can defeat Goliath: riches, marriage to the king's daughter, and tax exemption for his family. But David isn't motivated by the prize. He's motivated by his principles. When David's oldest brother, Eliab, hears him talking like this, he gets angry. He scolds David, saying, "What are you even doing here? You should be back with the sheep. You just came to watch the battle." It's a classic older brother move, right? Trying to put the younger sibling back in his place. But David isn't deterred. His conviction is stronger than his brother's criticism. Word of this brave young man reaches King Saul. Saul summons David, but when he sees him, he's skeptical. "You can't fight this Philistine," he says. "You're only a boy, and he's been a warrior since he was young." It's a logical conclusion. You don't send a teenager to fight a seasoned giant champion, but David has a response that changes everything. He doesn't talk about his fighting skills or his strength. He talks about his experience as a shepherd. He says, "When a lion or a bear came and stole a sheep from the flock, I went after it, struck it, and rescued the sheep. If it turned on me, I grabbed it by its fur and finished it." He wasn't bragging. He was providing evidence of his courage and his commitment to protecting what was entrusted to him. Then, he delivers the most important line. He says, "The same Lord who rescued me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear will rescue me from the hand of this Philistine." David's confidence wasn't in himself. It was in God. He saw Goliath not as an unbeatable giant, but as just another predator threatening God's flock, the people of Israel. He was reframing the entire battle. King Saul, moved by this incredible faith, finally agrees. "Go, and may the Lord be with you," he says. He tries to help by giving David his own royal armor, a bronze helmet and a coat of mail. But David tries it on and can barely move. It's too big, too heavy, too unfamiliar. This wasn't his way of fighting. So he takes it off. He says, "I cannot go in these because I'm not used to them." This is a crucial moment. David knew he couldn't win by trying to be someone he wasn't. He couldn't fight like Saul. He had to fight like David. Instead, he walks to a nearby stream and chooses 5 smooth stones. He puts them in his shepherd's bag. With just his staff in one hand and his sling in the other, he starts walking toward Goliath. That's it. A stick, a sling, and 5 small stones against a fully armored giant with a massive spear. Goliath sees this kid coming and is completely insulted. He scoffs, "Am I a dog that you come at me with sticks?" He curses David and roars, "Come here and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals." Goliath's confidence is in his size, his strength, and his weapons. But David's response is one of the most powerful declarations of faith you'll ever hear. He shouts back, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hands, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel." David wasn't just accepting the challenge, he was declaring victory before the fight even began. He was making it clear that this battle wasn't about him versus Goliath. It was about God's honor. Then David runs. He doesn't walk. He runs toward the battle line to meet the giant. He doesn't hesitate. As he runs, he reaches into his bag, takes out a stone, puts it in his sling, and lets it fly. The stone soars through the air and strikes Goliath right in the forehead, the only unprotected spot on his entire body. The giant stumbles and falls face down on the ground. David, without a sword of his own, runs over, takes Goliath's own massive sword, and finishes the job. The battle was over in an instant. When the Philistine army sees their champion fall, they panic. They turn and run, and the Israelite army, suddenly filled with courage, chases them down, winning a decisive victory. A whole army that was paralyzed by fear was set free by the faith of one young boy who refused to see things the way everyone else did. So, what can we take away from this incredible story? First, the giants in our lives, our biggest problems and fears, often look most intimidating from a distance. Up close, when faced with courage and faith, they have weaknesses we can't see from afar. Second, don't let others define your capabilities. Everyone, from his brother to the king, told David he was too small, too young, too inexperienced. But David knew what he was capable of because he knew who was with him. And finally, use what you have. David couldn't use the king's armor. It wasn't his. He had to use the simple tools he was an expert with: his sling and his faith. Sometimes we think we need fancy tools or qualifications to face our challenges, but often the skills and faith we already possess are exactly what we need. The story of David and Goliath reminds us that our perspective changes everything. Do we see an unbeatable giant, or do we see an opportunity for God to show his strength? The choice is ours. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today and exploring this amazing story. If this resonated with you, I'd be so grateful if you'd hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Drop a comment below and let me know what giant you're facing. Let's encourage each other. Until next time, stay courageous.